Hi, welcome back. I'm Jenny with Slave Pilates. Today I'm excited because I'm going to be taking you through a jump board routine on the reformer. So all we're going to need today is your reformer, your jump board, your box, and your magic circle. Let's get started. I'm going to set up to begin with 2 heavy springs, a medium, and a light. So for me, that's 2 reds, a blue, and a yellow. And then I'm going to come to line. I want you to make sure that your headrest is down to start. We will be lifting it up in a little bit. For our footwork and bridging, I want it to be down. So we're going to lie down, arms lengthened by the sides, feet come to the foot or the jump board, and we're going to have our toes just below the top of that jump board. Let's start with a flat foot and about a fist width distance between them. Inhale to press out. Exhale to draw that carriage in. We're going to have that same thought that we have when we're doing our footwork with the foot bar. So we're going to pull the abdominals in and up, press away, keep them pulling in and up to help you put on those brakes and resist the springs as you close that carriage back in. Start to move with your breath here. As you lengthen those legs out, scissor those inner thighs together, feel that activation. Our chest is nice and open toward the ceiling. Shoulder blades are heavy, skull is heavy, sacrum is heavy, and then we have the natural curvature of the spine. So the lower back is lifted off the carriage and the neck is lifted up off the carriage. Let's do 3 more here. 2. Last one. Come on in, let's add on here. So I want you to come up to a high heel position, really pressing into that big toe and inner side of the ball of the foot. We'll inhale to press the legs out, lower the heel, draw the carriage to a close, keeping the heel heavy. Lift, press out, lower, and in. Inhaling and exhaling on the second part of that movement. As you're laying here, I want you to start thinking about that nice long spine. So from our tailbone out the crown of the head, we're finding length. We're not compacting at all. I have a nice long neck. My shoulders are heavy and my chest is nice and open. I'm really squeezing into those calves as I peel the foot up into that high heel. 1 more. Come on in, and now we're going to reverse it. Heel stays heavy, press out, lift up into a high heel, draw the carriage in. Flat foot out, lifted heel in. Inhaling out, exhaling in. Let's do 2 more here. Last one. Come on in, lower the heel down. Now we're going to bring our feet to Pilates V, heels together, toes apart, and I want to keep that heel lifted slightly off the jump board. I'm pressing the heels together, and I inhale to lengthen the legs, exhale to come in. You're really going to feel that zipping up the midline as you straighten those legs out, scissoring the inner thighs in toward each other, and then exhaling to resist the springs in. Keeping that ball of the foot heavy. You might even get a little bit of a shake here in those heels. Let's do 3 more. Last 2. Last one. Come on in. Let's open our feet wide on the foot bar. I'm going to bring my toes back up to face the ceiling, so no turn out here. I'm on my heel, and the rest of my foot is extended up over the jump board. From here, inhale to press out, and exhale in. Now, since I don't have that turn out, my knees are tracking up and down, so they're not falling out to the side, opening wide. I'm bending in, they're shooting energy up to the ceiling, and then I'm straightening out. Again, really grounding that heel into the jump board. Starting to turn on that back chain of energy here. And making sure that as I straighten my legs out, I scissor those inner thighs and I squeeze into my glutes. Let's do 3 more here. 3 and 2. Last one. Come on in. Now, if you have your headrest up, make sure it's down. We're going to do some bridging. So I want you to bring the high arch of your foot onto the top of that jump board. And let's start with the feet together. If that bothers your lower back, you can separate them out a little bit. Arms will lengthen at the side, and we'll start by pulling that pelvis in toward the belly button, rounding up into our bridge. Come up high, pause. Open the knees wide, close them together, and round yourself back down. Now, so for this movement, if you have loops at home, you are more than welcome to put them around your upper thigh for this movement. If not, you can create the resistance yourself. So as I peel up, I slowly open my knees out to the side. I then scissor them back together just as slow as I open them, and I can really create that resistance that I don't actually have there with the aid of a band. Peel up, open, close, and down. Let's do 2 more like this. Peel up, really articulating through the spine. Open, close, and lower. Last one. Open, close, and lower. Nice. For this next one, we're going to bring our heels back to that Pilates D, and you're going to place your heels on top of the jump board. From here, we're going to take out the articulation, and we're just going to press the hips up and down. We're keeping those knees wide. We're squeezing into those glute meats as we squeeze up and lower. Now, if you want, you can bring your booty down to hover just above the carriage. You don't have to touch all the way down, or you can. It's up to you. I like to come down to hover and then lift again. Hover and lift. I'm looking at my hips. I'm making sure that they stay nice and flat and neutral as I press and lower. I'm also being very mindful of my ribs. I'm pulling and knitting those ribs in toward each other. I'm not letting them flare out. 2 more. Last one. Curl up and hold this one. Squeeze into those glutes. Get a little bit higher. Breathe and lower down. Nice. We're going to separate our feet out about shoulder width distance apart now, so we're a little bit wider. And again, we're going to press up into that high bridge. From here, we're just going to march. So we're going to lengthen the right leg. My quads stay in line with each other. Lower it down. Lengthen the left and lower. My hips are staying stable. My body is totally still except for the straightening and bending of my leg. Squeezing into my opposite glute as my leg extends to help stabilize. Let's do 1 more right and down, 1 more left and down. This time I'm going to extend my right leg straight up to the ceiling, and I'm going to flex the foot as I lower down toward the jump board, point and lift. Flex down, point up, flex down, point up. You should really be feeling it in that left hamstring and glute. 1 more, down and up. Go ahead and bend that leg. Place the high arch down on the jump board, and we'll extend the left up. Flex the foot, flex down, point and lift. Flex down, point and lift. 3 more, 2 more. Keep those hips even. Last one. Lift it up, bend that foot, and roll your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time. Go ahead and pull those knees in toward the chest. We'll rock side to side a little bit. We're going to sit ourselves on up. I want you to drop 1 heavy and 1 light. So I'm going to have 1 red and 1 blue spring on here. And we're going to work the single leg a little bit. So I'm going to draw my left knee up to tabletop. My right foot comes onto the jump board, toes just below the top, and I'm just gonna press out and in. I wanna keep my entire right foot in contact with that jump board. So my heel is heavy, the ball of my foot is heavy, and I'm pressing into all 5 toes as we move here. We'll add on pulling the left knee in and then extending it out long as we bend the right knee in. Abdominals are pulling in and up. We're nice and active here, stabilizing our body for this movement. Keep that leg straight and lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. 3 more. 2. Last one, hold out here. We're gonna keep the left toes pointing and reaching up toward that ceiling, and we're going to circle the leg, dropping it across the body, down toward the jump board, out, around, and back up. Pause before starting again. So what I want you to think about here, keeping that pelvis nice and neutral, nice and still. So if you have a lot of rocking in your pelvis, slow this down, make the circle a little bit smaller. Last one this direction, bring it up, pause, now we'll reverse, dropping it out to the side, down to the jump board and back up. Pausing before starting each new movement. So we are making a circle, we stop, and then we start again. And you can keep your hands on your hips throughout this movement. That's what I like to do to hold myself accountable. Last one here, and then we'll go ahead and bend. Come on in, place that foot down. Draw the right leg up to tabletop. Arms can lengthen by your side again. And we'll start by simply pressing in and out, holding that right leg at tabletop. Inhaling and exhaling, making sure now that our left foot is nice and balanced as we press into that jump board. Heavy heel, heavy ball of the foot, all 5 toes pressing into that jump board. Now add on the knee. Right knee pulls in and extends out. In and out. And out. In. Now on this next one, we extend the leg out, it stays straight, and we lift and lower. Lift and lower. Two more. Last one. Hold that leg out straight, and we're going to drop the right leg across the body, down, out, and back up, pausing before starting our next circle. Bring your hands to those hips. Make sure that your pelvis is not tucking in towards your belly button. Your hips are not rocking side to side. Your right hip is not lifting up and over as you drop that leg toward the left. Last one here. And now we'll circle out, down, across the body and back up. You're gonna notice for me, my right leg is a lot less flexible than my left. So I do have to take this one a little bit slower. I do have to make my circle a little bit smaller, because if I don't, my pelvis is just out of control. Last one here, and go ahead and bend in. So we're on that red and that blue. Let's go ahead and get ready to start jumping. I'm gonna grab my timer, and we're gonna jump for this first little bit for 2 minutes. So let me get our timer on, turn on my phone, and let's go ahead, bring those toes right below the top of the jump board and start jumping. Now as I jump out, I'm leaving, and then I'm landing toe, ball, heel. So I'm giving myself that time to land properly and start to put on those brakes. I want to close the carriage as much as I can without banging it against the stoppers, and I want to keep my spine nice and neutral as I'm jumping here. It's important to remember not to let those feet drop down as you jump out, but to lift them up slightly. Point those toes up above the jump board so that you make sure that you're not arching into that lower back. We're just going to jump center here for a couple more seconds, and then we'll add on a little bit. Use that breath. Inhale as you jump away, exhale as you land. Now let's jump center, jump wide. Jump center, jump wide. Keep those toes pointing up to the ceiling. Keeping them nice and parallel, no turnout yet. Nice. Let's do two more like this. Center, wide, center, wide, come back center. And now let's jump in a Pilates V. Heels together, toes apart. Try to keep those heels together as you jump out and away, pointing the toes, and then landing toe ball heel. Now once again, let's take it wide with the turnout. Center with the turnout. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back center. Keep your feet connected to the jump board and just press your legs out and in. Take deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to let our heart rate come down naturally as we move our body. Beautiful. Go ahead and draw the carriage close. We're going to stay right here on our back. We're going to reach back, grab onto your short straps. You can scoot away from your shoulder rest just a little bit, and we're going to draw our knees up to tabletop. Fingertips reach up to the ceiling, and I'm going to press my hands into those straps so my wrists are right over my shoulders. From here, we're going to inhale to press the palms down toward the carriage. Exhale to float the fingertips back up. Inhaling down and exhaling up. Abdominals are pulling in nice and tight to keep our legs in that nice 90-degree angle as we move. Keeping our entire body still, except for our arms. As I lower my arms down, I'm reaching into those straps, finding that length, reaching my fingertips toward the jump board. Let's add on our legs. So when the arms float up, pause, extend the legs out. Now as we lower the arms, knees pull in, and then lengthen. In and lengthen, nice. You can keep the lower back imprinted into the carriage here. As you pull your knees into your chest, pulling that belly button down toward the carriage, and then extend those legs out, reaching the feet away from where the belly is pulling in and up. Finding that opposition here. Two more. Last one. Pause here. Press your hands down. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. I'm in that 100 position now. I'm going to begin pumping my arms. Inhaling for a count of 5. Exhaling for a count of 5. Now my head, neck, and shoulders are curled up. I'm looking in toward my inner thighs. My lower back is imprinted. I'm reaching those toes away. And I'm pressing, reaching my hands into the straps. Two more breath cycles. And go ahead and rest back. Feet can come to the top of the jump board. We'll hang up our straps. We're going to set up for jumping again. Let me grab my phone, turn on my timer, bring your feet onto that jump board just below the top of the jump board. And we are going to start jumping now. So jumping center to start again. Inhaling away, exhaling in, landing toe ball heel, putting on those brakes, using your abdominals. Now let's go into a cross-country skier. So as I jump, left foot lands high, and then right foot lands high. I'm still jumping in the center here. I still have a nice neutral spine. I'm just landing one foot above the other. Now let's do this same jump, same cross-country speed, but turn out. So now it feels kind of fancy, like a ballerina move here. So we jump out, we point the toes, and then we land with our turnout, foot over foot. Let's add on a little bit here. We'll cross-country speed, jump wide, come back center. Cross-country, wide, back center. Keep that turnout, even in your wide jump. As you come into that wide jump, see if you can get those heels down. Fire up off those heels. Nice. Couple more here. Beautiful. Keep those feet connected. Press in and out. Allow that heart rate to start to come down. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Draw the carriage closed. Let's reach back, grab a hold of our short straps again. We're going to set up for T's. So legs come back up to tabletop. Arms are going to drop out to the side. We're going to press into those straps so that our shoulder and wrists are in alignment, palms facing in toward the body. Inhale to pull the palms in toward the hips. Exhale to lengthen them out. Being sure that you're stopping them at that T. You're not going into a Y. We want to keep any unnecessary strain out of the shoulders. Move with your breath here. Feeling that contraction of all those muscles under the armpit as you squeeze in, and then slowly releasing out. Now let's add on those legs. So the next time your arms float out to T, pause. Extend those legs out, imprinting the lower spine. Now as you pull in, knees pull in, and release out. In and out. Three more. Two more. One more. Lengthen out. Now curl the head, neck, and shoulders in as you pull those palms in towards your hip. Bottom back is lower imprinted, lower back is imprinted, and we're just gonna open and close our legs. I'm telling you, I'm doing all the things here. I gotta think, I gotta talk, I gotta breathe, I gotta move. Looking in toward my belly button. My head is sitting on top of my neck, so my neck is not feeling any extra strain here. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and rest back. Let's hang up these straps, and we're gonna set up for jumping one more time here. I can find my phone. Feet come onto the jump board, toes just below, and let's start jumping. We'll start center. And let's add on here. Let's go into some moguls. So I'm going to jump out. My toes land pointing up toward that top right corner. Come center. Jump out. Toes land up toward the top left corner and center. Right, center, left, center. Keeping those feet pretty close together. Remembering that as I jump away, I'm pointing the toes and lifting them slightly higher than that jump board. Make sure I can keep my spine nice and neutral. Now let's take the center out. So we're gonna jump, toes point to the right, jump, toes point to the left. To the right and to the left. We're still jumping center here. Now let's take it a little bit wider. So toes point to the right, jump to the right, point to the left, jump to the left. Taking them all the way across the jump board here. Getting a little bit more air than I was before. Rainbowing those legs left to right. Let's come back center. We'll mogul in the center, and then right and left. Center, center, far right, far left. Keep going here. Getting close. Far right, far left. Use that breath. Nice. Keep your feet connected. Press out and in. Breathe. You guys are doing awesome. This is kind of my favorite way to start a jump board class, with a bang. Really get the body hot, get the legs tired, get the arms working, get the abdominals involved. Go ahead and draw this carriage in. And I'm sure you could have guessed it, we're going into triceps. Grab onto your short straps. Legs float up to tabletop, fingertips float up to the ceiling, and then we're going to press those arms straight down toward the carriage. Options here, let the arm float, or you can really press that upper arm into the carriage. We're going to bend at the elbow, fingertips float up, and then press the arms out long. Inhale and exhale. I prefer to let my arm float up a little bit off the carriage. It just feels better for me alignment-wise, but if it feels good for you to have that upper arm pressing down, do it. Whatever feels good in your body. All of our bodies are different, and they all need different treatment because of that. Now let's add on the legs. Here, as we press the legs out, extend the left leg long, draw it back. Extend the right leg long, draw it back. Left and back, right and back. Inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. Neutral spine, check in. Make sure those abdominals are pulling in. You're feeling that knitting effect, making that waist a little bit smaller as the ribs pulling closer to each other. One more, left and in, right and in. Go ahead and pull the carriage close. Let your feet come to the top of the jump bar and let your arms fall out to a T. Chest is nice and open toward the ceiling. Let's drop our knees to the right and look left and breathe. Drop our knees to the left, look right. And breathe. And then draw in. We're going to hang up the straps. And we're going to do a quick 1 minute jump here. And we're just going to jump hard before we move on. So let me move us down to 1 minute. I'm going to hold on to this guy. Feet come onto the jump board. And let's start jumping. I just want you to jump center. Point the toes, lift the legs, and then toe ball heel. And just get a little extra air. Really jumping out. We're going to spike that heart rate really quick. And then we're going to cool it down with some arm work and ab work. Bring that carriage all the way into those stoppers without banging, hopefully. Really use your breath here. Getting close. Keep working hard. You can do it. Just 1 minute. You can do anything hard for 1 minute. 15 seconds. Five, 2, and 1. Come on in. Keep those feet connected and just press out and in. Good job, guys. In and out a couple more times. Come on in. Let's carefully sit ourselves up. Let's drop down to one blue spring. And we're going to turn to face the back of our reformer. We're going to come to a quadruped position here. So I'm going to bring my right hand into the headrest, and then I'm going to step my knees back or move them so that my hips are tracking over my knees. I want my right wrist under my right shoulder, and then I'm going to grab on to my rope above the knot or above the silver clip. I'm going to let my left arm fall outside the frame, and from here, nice neutral spine, inhale to pull that arm straight back. I'm going to go past my hip. I'm squeezing my upper arm in close to my body, and I'm pulling that strap back, holding for a moment, and releasing. I'm looking straight down here, so I don't want to tuck my chin to my chest. I don't want to be lifted. Looking at the back of the reformer, I'm looking straight down. 2 more. Last one here. Go ahead and close the carriage. Now you're going to move your hand, your left hand down into that left short strap. From here, same thing, palm is facing back toward the jump board. I'm going to press my arm back, squeeze that upper arm into my body, 1 tricep press, and then release it. Then again, pull back, 2 tricep presses, and release that arm down. And last one here, press back, and 3 tricep presses. 1, 2, 3, and release that arm down. Beautiful. Go ahead and hang up that strap. Now I'm going to move my left hand into the headrest. Make sure that my knees are still under my hips as I move myself to the right side of the carriage. I'm going to grab onto that rope above the knot. Right hand lengthens out to the side. I'm going to inhale to pull that arm back, lifting it up past my hip, pausing for a moment, and then lengthening it down and forward. Make sure your shoulders are not shrugging into your ears. You have a nice long neck. We have that long spine because we have that long line from our tailbone out the crown of our head. We're pulling the abdominals in. Our abdominals are keeping our body stable as our arm moves. Last one here. Lengthen that arm forward. Slowly move that right hand down to the short strap. And once again, we'll press back, squeeze the upper arm into the body, 1 tricep press, and release. Pull back, squeeze that upper arm in, 2 triceps. Bend and straighten and release. Last one here, we pull back. We go for 3, 2, 1. And then we lower that arm down. Beautiful. Hang up that strap. Come down to seated. We're still going to be facing the back of the reformer, and we're going to extend our legs out long in between the shoulder rests. I'm going to cross my right leg over my left, and then I'm going to reach down and grab onto my short straps again. So we're going to go into some variations that are taken out of rowing here. So we're going to sit up nice and tall to start. I'm going to flip my hands so that the back of my fist is facing in toward my chest. I'm going to sit up nice and tall, and I'm going to bring my knuckles together. From here, I'm going to pull the belly button toward the spine and round back halfway, finding that work. We're going to straighten the arms out, pull them in, straighten them out, press them out. They come center, fist pull in, lengthen away, and press out. I'm actively pulling my belly button toward my spine. It's easy here to just lean back against the weight of those straps. I don't want you to do that. I want you to be very mindful here and create some tension where otherwise there might not be any. And press. Let's add on a little bit here. We're going to pull those fists in. We're going to press them out. We're going to press out and lift our right leg and forward. Out and lift. Arms come forward. Out and lift and forward. Now we're adding this balance aspect. You might need to move a little bit slower, that's fine. 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and lower that leg, arms come forward, round yourself up and sit tall. Let's uncross the legs, cross the left over the right, and same thing. We're gonna flip those back of the hands back to face us, bring the knuckles together, sit tall to start, round back in space, arms lengthen, pull in, lengthen, press out. Keeping that hollowing out of the belly, pressing your legs into each other. So that bottom leg is pressing up gently as my top leg is pressing down. This is all about creating that resistance. And that adds a whole new layer to what we're doing here. Now come in center, draw the arms in, and we're gonna add the legs. So arms go out, come out, leg lifts, come in and it lowers. Lift and lower, lift and lower, inhaling and exhaling. 3, 2, last one, you got this. Beautiful. Come forward, dive your head towards your knees, press those arms back behind you, interlace the fingers, press the arms back and up. Really pull that belly button back and away from where your toes are pointing toward the wall in front of you. Now slow and with control, release your hands, circle them around towards your feet, and reach those fingertips toward the wall in front of you. The same wall your toes are reaching toward. Pull your belly button back towards your spine, and now stack yourself up tall. Beautiful. Let's once again, actually let's, if you can, if it's available to you, bring your legs to sit side by side. If not, I want you to cross the other way again, so that right leg is over left. Now, we're gonna take our arms up to a 90-degree angle. Palms are facing back toward our face. Sit up nice and tall. We're gonna inhale, keep that long spine as you hinge back in space. Exhale to come up. Inhale back, exhale up. So you may find a blue is a little bit lighter than we would normally do this movement. So you can always press those legs outward into those shoulder rests to help anchor you. It also turns on your outer thighs a little bit, which is a bonus. One more. Go ahead and drop those arms. We'll rest for just a moment. We're gonna add on one more thing to that movement before we move on. Arms will come back up into that 90-degree. I'm sitting up tall. I'm gonna press my fingertips up toward the ceiling, only moving a few inches. Come back to 90 degrees, hinge back, strong, exhale up. Fingertips lengthen up, hinge back, sit up tall. Make sure those shoulders aren't creeping up toward your ears here. Last one. And once again, let those arms come down, palms flip back, dive your head towards your knees, interlace those fingertips. Do it in the awkward grip this time. So the way that you wouldn't normally naturally grip, reach back. Find that length from your knuckles, reaching back to that wall behind you, to your head reaching to the wall in front of you. Now slowly release, circle the arms around. This time go ahead and just grab onto the feet if you can. If not, your ankles or your calves. Oh, and just take a nice stretch here. I like to round my back away from where my hands are, and then stack your spine up tall. Beautiful. Let's hang up the straps. We're gonna reach around behind us, add on one red spring, and take off the blue. We're going to stay facing the back of the reformer, and I'm gonna come down onto my forearms on top of my shoulder rest. So my elbows actually dip down kind of in front of the shoulder rest for a little bit of hold. I'm going to place my right foot onto the jump board and press out. So my heel, if you look, comes just over the top of the jump board. My left knee is under my left hip. And from here, we're just gonna inhale to press out, exhale to draw that carriage close. Slow and controlled. What we're thinking about here, A, we're getting ready to jump, but B, I want you to find that feeling. We're pulling in our abdominals and we're stabilizing our body. So my shoulders are staying directly over my elbows. My knee is staying directly under my hip. My body is totally still except for this right leg pressing out and in. So now let's add on a jump. So you're just gonna jump out and land. Jump and land. You're looking down in between those shoulder rests to keep the spine long. Nice. Point that toe, land toe ball. You're not gonna be able to land heel here. Nice. Now we're gonna add a little lift. As you jump out, I want you to lift that heel toward the ceiling. Important thing here is that that lift is coming from our glute. We're not arching in the lower back to find that lift. Nice. Keep going. You got this. Three, two, last one. Bring that leg in. Go ahead now, place your right hand on top of the shoulder rest. Left forearm can stay on the left. And we're gonna open up that right knee so that our foot can be parallel with the top of the jump board. So right foot parallel with the top. From here, I'm just gonna inhale to press out, keeping the foot nice and flat, exhale in. So this is another example of where we can create that extra resistance. I'm pressing out, squeezing into my glute, and then coming in. Press out and come in. Out and in. Two more. You're probably feeling this in your stabilizing glute. My left glute is kind of burning right now. Last one. Come on in. Let that knee rest down. Let's come back onto our forearms. Set up for the left side. So left foot comes onto that jump board. You're going to press out. Heel will be just off the top. Once you're all lined up, we're just going to inhale to press out. Exhale to draw that carriage closed. Keeping my body still as I move. Pulling my abdominals in and up. As I press that leg out long, I squeeze into my left glute gently. Two more like this. Last one. And now we're going to begin jumping. Jump away and land. Jump and land. Then a toe ball, closing the carriage gently. And make sure that you're not looking down toward your knees. You're looking down straight in between the shoulder rests. Let's add on that little lift. Jump and lift. Squeezing with the glute to find that lift up to the ceiling. Three more. Two. Last one. Come on in. Now we come up onto our left hand on that left shoulder rest, still on the forearm on the other side, and my left foot is going to come to rest parallel just below the top of the jump board. I'm going to press out and pull in. Press out and in. Squeezing into that glute and resisting the springs, pulling the carriage closed. stabilizing glute as well as hopefully in your left. 3, 2, 1. Come on in. Carefully come up and let's sit. We're going to stretch into our glute for just a moment with our feet on the floor. And you're going to bring that right ankle over the left knee. And then you can hinge forward slightly with a flat back. Stretch into that glute. Feels so good. And just breathe for a moment. Sit up tall. We'll cross our left ankle over the right. Hinge forward slightly. Oh, this side is much tighter. Ooh. And then come on up. I'm going to have you guys stand up and let's grab onto our box. And we're going to place it on in the long box position. And then let's put on let's start with one blue spring. Now, we're going to be getting onto the box facing the jump board. So I like to kind of hop on and press back a little bit. Helps you to get on here. I want to set up the same way as usual. My chest is just off the front. I'm going to point those toes back to the wall behind me, turning on my legs. My quads are on, my glutes are on. I'm pulling my belly button in, up, and off that box. And I'm looking straight down into the spring well. The palms of my hands are wide on the jump board, and we're just going to go into a push-up. So we're going to pull in, elbows go wide, head taps the jump board, and press out. Nice and slow and controlled. We're not on a heavy weight here at all. So if you just slow it down and really find that control, you're going to feel it a lot more. If you think about proper alignment and form, you're going to feel it a lot more. If you keep your body totally active the entire time you're moving, don't let those legs relax. Don't let those glutes relax. Don't let those abs relax. You're going to feel it a lot more. One more. Pull the carriage in. This is kind of the awkward part. We're going to put on one yellow spring, take off the blue. And now we're going to go into a single arm. So I'm going to start with my right. I'm going to bring it just inside my little strap here, so almost in the center. My left hand is going to come to rest behind my sacrum, and my body is long. This time my elbow drops down toward the spring, not out, and then I press the arm out straight. Elbow drops down, closing the carriage in, press out straight. Now, if this is too much for your elbows, don't even do it. Or you can bring both on, and you can drop them and straighten, bringing them more to the center of the jump board and straightening. Let's do one more, and then we'll switch to the other side. So I'm going to bring my right hand behind my sacrum if I'm doing this one-armed, and I'm going to drop that left, and then press. This is slow and controlled. It's not fast. We're on a light spring, but this is still really heavy for one arm. So again, if it bugs you, forget about it. Keep both hands on. Lower the elbows down toward the springs and straighten. Let's do one more. I have a very cranky elbow, so I'm doing both hands in the middle. So now let's go into a little jumping with our arms. We're going to bring those palms out wide again. I'm looking down, still the same alignment. I'm going to pull in, and then I'm going to jump off. Now, same thought as with the legs. My fingertips reach out. I'm keeping them the same height as they are as they're in contact with the jump board. I'm just going to jump out and land. Out and land. Elbows go wide as we land. I'm still looking down into the springs. Now as you jump out, arms come to T and forward and land. Jump out, T and in. T and in. All right, your abdominals still pulling in and up. Does your lower back feel nice and supported? If it doesn't, first thing I always tell people, pull those abdominals in. 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and come on in. Let's put that blue spring back on. Take off the yellow. press away, and now keep those arms straight and just come up, just to where it feels good, getting a little stretch. Press down, looking down to the spring well. Keep the arms straight, come up slightly, and press back. One more. Come on up and lower back. Okay, before we leave this position, grab onto your magic circle. We're going to place the magic circle in between our ankles. Arms are going to stay long, pressing away from that jump board. From here, I'm going to lift my quads off the box. So I'm squeezing into my glutes to get just a little lift. My knees are bent, heels are up toward the ceiling. I'm going to inhale as I lengthen those legs away. Exhale to pull the heels in toward the booty. Inhale out, exhale in. Now this just feels so wonky. You're probably getting a little bit of shaking in that circle. That's totally fine. Squeeze into those glutes, pull the abdominals in and up. Squeeze in. Now pause here with the knees bent, and now you're just going to press those heels up to the ceiling. Press, 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 press. Squeezing into those glutes. You should really be burning right now. 3, 2, 1. Lengthen the legs back. Drop the magic circle. Go ahead and come on up to a seated position carefully. We're going to keep that blue spring on, and we're going to reach back and grab onto our short straps. We're straddling the box, feet are resting on either side. You can have about hands width distance between the back of the box and your booty. Let's set up for a little arm work. Draw the arms in close to the body, palms face up. We're going to press the right arm out, twisting to the left. Come back center. Left arm presses out, twisting to the right. Back center. Now if this feels a little bit heavier than it normally does to you, it will setting up on this box. You always have the option to move your hands to the long strap. That'll give you a little bit of relief. Nice. One more, reaching the right hand out. One more, reaching the left hand out. Come back center. Bring your arms up for hug a tree. Bend in the elbows. Elbows are lifted, shoulders roll down the back. Hand in your peripheral vision. Inhale to draw the fingertips together. Exhale to open up. Keeping in mind that in this hug a tree, we are not bringing the shoulder blades together on the back. They're staying nice and separate and open. We're squeezing into our chest to bring the fingertips together. Two more. In and out. In and out. Go ahead and drop the arms for a moment. We're going to keep the long spine, hinge forward slightly from the hips. Draw your arms up to that cactus or goalpost. From here, inhale to press the arms up by the ears. Exhale to float back down to goalpost. Inhaling to reach. Exhaling to release. Keep those abdominals pulling in and keep that hinge forward. We're protecting the lower back here. Arms should be getting sore. Let's do 3 more. 2. Last one. And lower down. Take the straps into your right hand and let's turn around to face the back of the carriage. Let's also put on one red. I think a red's going to be a little bit better here. Take off that blue. So feet are going to come into the headrest. Oh my goodness, pardon me. It's so funny. I promise nobody calls me until the second I turn on a camera, and then everybody in the world needs to talk. Okay, we're going to sit up nice and tall. My feet are in the headrest. I'm going to hold on to the short straps here. I'm going to inhale as I pull my belly button to my spine, rounding back. Now, since we have this jump board back here, we're not going to go all the way into extension. I'm going to bring my gaze up to the ceiling. I am flat on the box. Now I'm gonna curl my chin to my chest and begin to round back up. So we're really working that articulation. We're also working those abdominal muscles. Slowly melting down, coming to parallel on the box, looking up, chin to chest, rounding up just as slowly as I came down, and then sitting up tall. Let's do 2 more. Rounding back, coming to parallel, chin to chest, and rounding up. Last one here. Big exhale, chin to chest, and round up. Let's hang up these straps. And then let's do just a little teaser work here. We're not gonna do anything crazy. So I'm gonna scoot back a little bit, so I'm about in the middle of the box. I'm going to scoop my belly in and come back. So I'm rounded back a halfway, and then I'm gonna float my right leg up to tabletop. Exhale, float that left leg up to tabletop and find that balance. Just breathe here. Abdominals are pulled in, chest is open. I have my arms plugged into my shoulders, and I'm balancing. We're gonna add on here. My left arm is gonna float out to the left. I'm going to lower my right toes, tap. Draw everything back in. Right arm floats out, left toes tap. Draw back to center. Alternating between here. And out, and in, and out, and in. Let's do 1 more on each side here. Dropping the right toes and center, left toes and center. Hold here. You got it. Breathe, and then go ahead and drop those feet. Hinge yourself over your knees, let your head be heavy. Arms can hang down into the well. Beautiful. Good job, guys. Let's go ahead and take the box off and place it over to the side. I want to do just a little bit more jumping before we cool down. So let's do jumping with a much lighter spring here. Let's put on 1 blue spring. Go ahead and come down to mine. Now here's where you can bring that head rest up. I like to be able to look down at my feet slightly. The other option, if you want a little bit more, is you can curl head, neck, and shoulders up. Hands come behind the head, 1 hand over the other, pinkies at the base of the skull. Just be sure that if you choose that option, you're not pulling the head up. You're just keeping it in place. You're just assisting. So go ahead and bring your feet onto the jump board, toes just below the top, arms are gonna lengthen down by your side, and we'll start jumping. So you're gonna notice right away, a lot more hang time here. Now I like to imprint my lower back when I'm doing this jumping, when I have this much hang time with my legs in the air. So curl that pelvis in towards your belly button, imprint that lower spine, and jump. Toes point, land toe ball heel, and jump out again. Now, like I said, if you want, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. This is a lot more here. Nice. Three more like this. 2, 1. If you have your head lifted, lower it down, draw in for just a moment, extend your right leg up. We're gonna interlace our fingers behind that quad, and then we're gonna jump with our left leg. So here, I'm pulling my right leg toward my body, and I'm pushing my right leg into those hands. So I'm creating a bit of opposition here. My left leg is jumping, toe pointing, landing toe ball heel. My abdominals are super active because of that pulling and pushing I'm doing with the right side of my body. Now left leg jumps, comes up to meet the right, and then lands. Lift and land. Ooh, might get a little bang here or there. Two more. Last one, and switch. So hands come behind the left quad now. My left toes are reaching up toward the ceiling. I'm pressing my left leg into my hands. I'm pulling my hands toward my body. Abdominals are super active. Right leg is jumping, toes pointing up and over that jump board as I jump out, and then landing toe ball heel. That lower back is still imprinted. Now that right leg lifts up, meets left, and then lands. Kick it up and land it. Three, two, one. Come back to jumping both legs here. And now we're going to scissor. So we'll jump left, scissor, land right. Jump right, scissor, land left. Again, if you want here is the option to curl the head, neck, and shoulders up, looking in toward the inner thighs. Couple more of these, and then we're going to change it up again. The next time we jump left, we're going to jump left. We're going to scissor, scissor, land left. Scissor, scissor, land left, jump left. Scissor, scissor, land and jump. Scissor, 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 scissor. Two more. Last one. Now in this next one, land right. Now we're going to jump out, scissor, scissor, land right. Jump right, scissor, scissor, land right. Jump right. Keep moving here. We're almost done. Make sure those legs are moving along that midline. They're not falling out to the side, not falling inward and hitting each other. Two more. Last one. Come back to center. Couple more jumps here. Come on in. Lower the head, neck, and shoulders down. And just drop your knees side to side. You did so great today, guys. That was a really fun workout. I actually love doing jump board, so we will revisit this several times. Let's go ahead and sit up, add on a red. So you have one red and one blue, one heavy and one medium, and we'll lie back down. We'll grab onto the long straps behind us, and we will place our feet into them. I'm gonna lower my headrest. You can keep it up or down here. And then we're gonna find that neutral spine. Sacrum becomes heavy again, legs float up to the ceiling. We're gonna inhale to lengthen those feet down toward the top of the jump board. Exhale to lift them back up to the ceiling. Starting to cool down here. I'm gonna check in with my body. I'm gonna see if I'm holding tension anywhere. For me, it tends to be from my neck up. I'm always tense somewhere in that region. So I'm gonna take a big inhale in through my nose. Exhale through my mouth. I'm gonna make sure that my facial muscles are relaxed, that I'm relaxing my neck muscles. My abs are still active, my legs are zipped together. I feel that inner thigh lighting up still, but I'm cooling down. Letting my body know that it's time to start winding down from all of that work. We're gonna lower our feet to 45 degrees. Bring heels together, toes apart. Actively press those heels together. Bend the knees in toward the chest and press those heels back forward, going into frog. I always tell people to imagine as if you are holding a marker between your heels As you press your feet out, you're drawing a line. Follow that same line back as you draw your knees in towards your chest. Two more frogs. And last one. Pull the knees in toward the chest. Let's bring the knees together, feet come back to parallel. Extend the legs straight up. And let's go into circles, dropping the legs out, pressing them down toward the jump board, drawing them together and lifting back up. Let's do 2 more circles. Last one. We'll float the legs up to the ceiling and then we'll reverse. Press those feet down, open the legs, drawing back up toward your head together, and then pressing down again. So part of the reason I chose to do a jump board class today is because we're in our last stretch of summer. So I have 3 kids home and it's loud and it's close to impossible to keep them quiet. It doesn't matter how I explain what I'm doing and what I need from them. There are 3 kids in this house. So I figured at least if we did jump board, it'd be kind of loud. Maybe it would drown out some of the background noise, so hopefully you didn't hear too much of the movie my kids are watching or the talking they've been doing up there. Let's do 1 more here. Now I'm just gonna take my feet up toward the ceiling. I'm gonna grab onto my ropes and now I'm gonna lift that sacrum, pulling my legs in closer to my body, getting a much deeper stretch into my hamstrings. Rock those legs forward. Let's open the legs into a wide V. Keep a hold of those ropes and now just rock side to side. So you're getting a little bit of a massage into that back. Getting a deep stretch into your inner thighs. I can still feel it in my hamstrings. If I flex my feet deeply, I can feel it all the way down my calves. We'll draw the legs together. Take the feet out of the straps, hang up those straps, then carefully sit yourself on up. Thank you so much for joining me today on this jump board journey. There are more to come. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like below and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you next time. Bye.